Nicole here with Job Hunt Solutions, and in today's video I want to look at a few free resources that are available to you through your job search journey. Now, first step in, of course, your job search and when you're looking at jobs is doing your research. Now, in a previous video from last week, I actually did speak about this in great length, and I gave a lot of great free resources that are available to you. In addition to the resources that I've mentioned in the previous video, if you're really interested in doing more around Twitter and doing some deeper dives into Twitter, there's a really great resource called Twello. Now, Twello, you can consider this like the yellow pages for Twitter. This is a 100% free resource for you, so if you want to use Twitter as part of your job search strategy or part of your networking strategy and growing your network, that is a fantastic resource for you. Another really interesting resource that I found, now this one is, I'm going to say, a freemium, so it's not really free. There is a free trial, and this one is called Fill Perfect. I'm going to have the link, of course, to all of these resources in the description below. But Fill Perfect, what it does is it automates when you're filling out the application forms online. It will keep a lot of this information saved for you on your system and on this Fill Perfect system. So as you fill out applications online, this will help you automate that entire process. It helps you to make sure that you're filling it in once the right way and you don't forget any details as you repeat this process in your job applications. Another great resource is for when you're writing your resume, and it's called Grammarly. So Grammarly is another freemium, and this one's more of a pure freemium in so much as there is a free version and there is a paid version. So if you want to go pro or really increase the use of the Grammarly product, then you can pay the premium price. I actually use Grammarly, and I use it just the free version, which I find sufficient for my needs. But I find it does a really great job in catching some of the things that the regular grammar check and spell check in my word processing system doesn't necessarily catch. So things like misuse of homonyms, like to, and to, or there and there. Grammarly can detect when you're using the proper form of a verb or proper use of a particular word that could be a homonym. Not only is it great to use in the actual word processing system, but because it's an online tool and program, it actually works in every other website that I use. So it's like a website add-on. Now, I use Chrome, so I don't know if that makes a difference, but anyway, it's worth checking it out. Another great resource, I know we've talked about resumes before, and I have the previous video here on resumes for ATS systems, that it's usually recommended not to use an infographic resume because it doesn't upload to some of these applicant tracking systems very well. However, there are times when it might be appropriate to use an infographic resume, especially if you're going for a very creative role or when you're going into an interview and bringing your resume with you. Sometimes having the infographic resume will really help you stand out. A great tool and resource for building an infographic resume is a website called VisualizeMe. Now keep in mind, this VisualizeMe, it is free for you to develop and build and play around with an infographic resume. But if you want to download the resume, it is going to cost some money. So there are some people who like to hack this by doing screenshots. That's entirely up to you. But if you want to just use the VisualizeMe tool just for the fun of it to see how creative you can be with your resume, it might be worthwhile checking out as well. Now, my last two freebies that I have for you guys are actually both from my website. So one is a free cover letter template. I've talked about when and if a cover letter is necessary, again in a previous video, which you can find up here. But for those times when you do need a cover letter, I actually do have a template available to you, and it hits on all of the key topics that you need to cover in a cover letter. So things like matching what your background is to the pain point for the role and the organization to which you're applying. So again, I'm going to have a link to that in the description below. And the other letter template that I have available to you for free on my website is a template. There's actually two parts to this template. One is the thank you letter after your interview, and the next one is a follow-up letter after the interview, so say about 10 days after your interview, and you want to send a follow-up letter to the HR person or to your contact person in the organization. I've got a template for that as well. They're both in the same download. So again, in the description below, you'll find the links to those. So those are some of the free resources that I was able to sort of gather up for you. If you know of any other free resources, please feel free to leave some in the comments below. And of course, if you have any questions or video ideas or would like to collaborate with me, I'd love to hear from you. You can reach me on email, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, whatever works for you. And for personalized advice, come on over to my website and I'd be happy to help. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, happy hunting!